Alright guys, I am known as the largest procrastinator in the world because if I wasn't, I would have made this video probably 10 years ago. I'm going to try and shoot a video every single day about pretty much what we do around here and some topics that I have that go on in the daily life of FFP and other things. But let's try 30 minutes a day. Just yap about what goes on around here. So I'm gonna pretend like you guys have no idea who I am and you have no idea where we are. So my name is Charles Cerrito. I'm owner and founder of Function Factory Performance out here in Thousand Oaks. So this building does encompass a couple of companies. We do have Technical Auto Parts, which is going to be my partner Will's company that focuses more on European cars. Function Factory Performance focuses on American muscle and McLarens, and we are as well Thorny Motorsports of Los Angeles, a McLaren independent specialist shop, and all the way down there is going to be Ceramic Pro Elite Dealer of Newbury Park. I have never done this. I've never just given a raw tour of the facility. So again, we are in beautiful Thousand Oaks. If you guys don't know where that's at, it's about 45 minutes northwest of Los Angeles. So we are located on Thousand Oaks Boulevard, and I'll give you guys a quick shot. Look at how beautiful it is. We are nestled on top of a hill where nobody's gonna mess with us. Down there, there's some parking over there for the other shops, but there's the main road, and then there's two more shops here, and then there's us. So we are the third building up here, and let's just give you guys a tour, and I'm just gonna call it out as I see it. We've got our 2024 Gym Glow Elite trailer here that was specifically designed for McLaren 720S and a Mustang GT500, meaning that it is as wide as humanly possible and can get the lowest car in there. We did put TAP's Lamborghini Huracan STO in here with the Vorsteiner lift, and it fit perfectly without even raising the lift. I've got my FFP 2024 Ford Raptor here, 801, so nothing special, in the carbonized gray. It is all stock. All right, let's go outside. All of this is our parking space. We've got Sean's very odd 1980 Aston Martin Lagonda that has been here since almost day one. It's very unique. It's a very love-hate relationship. I can't believe we put this Lego box together, but I'm hoping that we can get it started by next week. He dropped it off with in a box. So this motor was not in this car. It was in pieces when we got it. And that's what it looks like now. We've got TAPs. Wow, look at this thing. TAPs, I don't know what year it is, but it's a BMW M2 fitted with this crazy Vorsteiner kit. I did some photos of it about 3 weeks ago, but this thing is just too rad. We do rotate cars a lot here, so we do play car roulette every night. We drive a different car every day. I know, guys, I should be making full future films on these cars because this is something, again, you know, I'm taken for granted for. I wish I could share more content with you guys. Just trying to find more time, and that's why we're doing this here. It has an auto lock feature on it, so that's why the alarm is going crazy. Really cool car, guys. Just carbon fiber everywhere. This thing is a blast to drive. I've taken it in the canyons, and again, we did get a head strap, so we'll get some POV footage of driving the cars and the sounds that they make, because this thing sounds awesome, and it is really, really quick. Shop itself, so we got 5 main garage doors. Big 10-20 foot garage doors here, about 11 bays. And let's go inside. We'll take the filter off the Osmo. Just to nerd out, I just got this new lock installed. It's the Lockley Defender here. Check this out, guys. It's got a thumbprint here. It's got, you're able to put a code in there, and then you can use your RFID tag here. So we'll just put my thumb here. Boom. Close that. And it's open. This is the office here. This is the main office. It's just me, and we just finished a massive profile simulator, and here's my very old RS seat simulator here. Guess what we got here, guys? We have 2 full simulators here, all equipped with Sim Magic parts that we're going to be filming later next week. This is a work in progress, as you can tell. What you see here is definitely not its final form. I can't wait to paint this place and get a nice decor wall on it, get some signage, and hang up some of the carbon parts. Here is my desk. I think I'm going to be moving it soon again. Everything is everywhere right now. This is my camera bag. I haven't upgraded my camera gear in over 6 years probably. Got my D4S. Here is my 1235 for the GH5S that we're about to film on. Got the version 2 7200, got the 50mm Sigma, bunch of batteries. We do have a ton of strobes as well. But other than that, super basic. Hey, but it gets the job done here. Let's go where the magic happens, where this is the shop. So here is Unit B. So this is where all the magic happens and the hard work. This is a rare sight, guys, that this lift is empty. It always has a car on it, but we just finished a brand new BMW exhaust, so it's gone. We do have Comethazine's old MP4 underneath this cover, getting a brand new engine over there. And we do have the world's cheapest 650S up top here, waiting for a new BCM. And it has taken us an enormous amount of time to go through this motor. Unfortunately, it looks like they ripped it out of the car very quickly and broke a lot of things. It's very kind of frustrating, but again, Lester just going above and beyond, has went through this entire car to find all the missing parts, and we should have everything by next week. And just a ton of parts on this car. Let's go around the shop. We've got racks full of Mustang parts. Underneath this one is our full carbon fiber Mustang GT. It is a twin turbo car. It makes about 1,000. Check that out. I keep the covers on, guys, because it's extremely dusty in here, and we're looking to rectify all of that. We just need to seal the doors. I want to take the cover off. We'll talk about this car later, but it's been an extreme work in progress. And then if some of you guys know, this is my 2016 EcoBoost Mustang. Supposed to rev to 9K. Has some nitrous, who knows. But we're waiting for the motor to get done. Again, same body kit, all carbon. It's pretty sick. And over here is kind of my makeshift living room I've got. Got the fridge, got the couch. Oh, check that out. This is our most popular item here. 24, 25 Mustang GT and Dark Horse carbon fiber wing. So this one is waiting for PPF, get done next week, and we're putting in new hardware there. So you just come over here and chill. The Sims used to be in here, but I moved them in the office because it got extremely cold in here over the winter, and we are looking to get some heaters in here. But yeah, this is kind of our little man cave here, guys. And if we do end up staying here, I would love to build a mezzanine up there. Wouldn't that be sick if we did a really cool mezzanine type hangout up there, where right now we're storing parts, and obviously not the biggest fan of that, but I think there's a lot of space to be utilized up top. We're just trying to make it happen, just having fun. First off, okay, again, the format here, we're going to do daily things. So what happened, we'll talk about what happened last week and what kind of got my butt into gear with this, because, you know, a lot of you have been begging me to talk about the drama that happens in this industry. And, you know, I'll crash out and then you never hear about it again, but I think let's get it on record and let's just talk about it. And then we'll film a short segment, like 20 minutes or so, about how we even got here from the very beginning. I know I did film a long segment with this gentleman named Sean, and he is awesome, by the way. He's crushing it in automotive marketing. I didn't like the place setting. I didn't like the lighting. You know, I really appreciate his time. We might use some clips from it, but again, I think it wasn't the right time to film it. I do a lot of really cool things that less than 1% of people will ever get to do, and I wish there were cameras like this, or I just pulled my cell phone out a couple more times to remember those moments. But I'm trying to record everything. We do have a new video editor that is insanely reliable. He works hard. His name is Evan. If you don't know him, he used to be Item B. He drifted a FCRX7, and his car was actually a huge motivation to put the livery on my Mustang. So let's go and swap cameras, and let's get to it. Testicles, test. I need to get a big monitor. All right. So last week, what actually got me riled up and why I want to do this is that we had a particular chargeback against a customer that was a fan of ours, which is always disappointing. A chargeback is basically when someone buys something and initiates a chargeback against the vendor themselves. So the issuing creditor will basically pull the money from me and give a temporary credit to the consumer or customer, client, whatever you want to call them, in lieu of the chargeback litigation process. The problem with chargebacks is that there's no legal ground for anything, meaning the customer can call a chargeback with no grounds or proof and get a temporary credit, and the money is immediately debited out of our account or whoever you file the chargeback against. It is an unbelievable and necessary evil in the industry, unfortunately, because it does protect consumers and even myself against vendors that don't reply, that don't call back, or just make zero effort to communicate with you. The problem with chargebacks, though, is that they became insanely relevant and prevalent in COVID, in 21 and 22, when supply chains were just wrecked, especially in the automotive community. This created globally, I think it was the credit card industry saw almost 1,000% rise in chargebacks in COVID, meaning people were literally filing chargebacks at an enormous rate because they just weren't satisfied about getting their products in a timely fashion, or the vendors were just not communicating with the consumer of when the lead time was going to be, or they're just getting scammed altogether. Well, unfortunately, we got caught in this crossfire in COVID. I think we incurred, almost $160,000 in chargebacks within COVID, and that does a toll to your bank account. And not just your bank account number, but your relationship with your payment processor and your issuing bank. They don't like chargebacks because if you can't cover the call on the chargeback, then you're screwed. If you don't have the liquidity, then the bank is ultimately out the cash. So banks started requiring more reserves against the payment processing. So at any given time, at my height, I had over $60,000 to $70,000 of my own cash in the banks to make sure the banks could trust me that we could cover a chargeback if it were to happen. By some luck, that has all gone away as of last month. So for almost 3 years, we covered an enormous amount of reserve cash in multiple different banks to keep business going. And I fully understand why a lot of these shops went under, a lot of these websites went under, because when this stuff happened, it was horrible. What upsets me most about chargebacks is that there should be a process to where the chargeback should be the last fucking thing a customer should be able to do, because they've gone through every single thing. They have exhausted all options before being able to file that chargeback, because it hurts the relationship with our bank. And that's a problem, because again, it creates more reserve. I have to put up more cash in my account to make sure we're covering X amount of chargebacks. Not only that, it creates an audit situation. So the banks will audit every transaction over a certain amount of value. That means we don't get a transfer for 2 weeks. I could be out at any given time, again, $50,000 to $70,000 of unaccounted cash. And the only reason I can account for that is because I keep a daily ledger around the clock. I've been doing it for almost 3.5 years, and it's the only way we can keep track of the amount of cash that's actually flowing through the company because of these audits and these holds. They're fucking ridiculous, if you want my honest opinion. You can never balance your books truly unless you have a manual ledger, because Stripe, Chase Bank, Authorize.net, Visa, there are so many other major processors, Square, I could go on forever. All of them near $1 trillion in processing. They know the game very well, and they know what to look for. And I know what to look for also. We're gonna dive into a lot of sticky and nasty stuff that happened back in 21 and 22 with the company. You know, I'm not afraid. We're gonna dive into why we got here, you know, why we're making this video again. But anyways, the biggest hit with chargebacks is that relationship and the transfer. So when you file a fucking chargeback against my company, you are actually hurting everyone else around you because you are stopping that cash flow. I'm not saying we don't have the cash to cover it, which we do. It's just fucking annoying. When I go again, you know, missing 20, 30, 40, 50, that sucks because I'm just watching the account do this. And then one day I wake up, Chase Bank will say, we're sending you $20,000. We're sending you $50,000. And then I got to go in there and make sure I'm, you know, all that cost was covered and check my ledger. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, sweet. That's very annoying. Chargebacks are bad. They are very bad. And if you do them, my God, I hope you're doing it for the right reason. I really do. I really hope you exhausted all options before you did that against a vendor that is active in the community, that they have a social media presence, or, you know, they're an actual real person. Again, if you get scammed, that is why chargebacks do exist and why you're able to file them. But again, I highly disagree with the due diligence process, as there's none. There is no due diligence. I can show you guys how to file a fucking chargeback. I could go to McDonald's right now, go buy a Big Mac, eat the damn thing in front of the cash register, and be like, I didn't like it. And 10 minutes later, walk out, you know, not even walk out. I could file the chargeback right then and there. Sure, I'm being hyperbolic. It does take about a day or two to settle the credit transaction, and then I can file a chargeback. They're gonna ask me like 2 questions and give me immediate temporary credit while they go sort the situation out with McDonald's Bank. That is how evil this stuff is. It really, really, really fucking is. So, how we got to this point. A customer about 2 weeks ago, big fan of mine, was watching all my videos. We were going back and forth on email. We were talking about an exhaust. So he had watched Jacoby's Mustang over at Black Market Racing that we did a full video series on. I think that series has almost 60 or 70,000 views, and we sold a ton of stuff from it. We tested a Tomei, a full race, and an MBRP exhaust for an EcoBoost Mustang. Guys, like, love your video, dude. Love the hustle that you put in. Really big fan of yours. I'm going to order the exhaust. Cool. He orders the full race exhaust. Unbeknownst to me, I don't know that the exhaust is out of stock and has also been discontinued. We have 10,000 products on the website. I think 6,600 are active, 5,900 are active. And it's just me. I don't think a lot of people understand that. They think we are this massive fucking company. That is a huge perception that I have. Again, it's a blessing and a curse. Cool, I love that people think we're Walmart, but we're not. It's just this angry asshole sitting in this chair answering the fucking phone calls, just trying to get through the day and make $1 while I'm at it. The guy orders the exhaust, it wasn't in stock. I call the guy within a day. Said, hey man, you know, unfortunately this exhaust is discontinued. Did you want to move to the street version? So the race version has a resonator, no mufflers, which sounds incredible. It was one of the best sounding EcoBoost exhausts. It actually sounded like a very exotic car. Me and Ryan's car was a test car on it. It sounded phenomenal. I offered him the street version, which is a resonator plus 2 mufflers. It's a little quieter because it has the mufflers. He didn't want to move to that. He didn't want to go to the Tomei. He didn't want to go to the MURICA. No problem. You know, I got to do something to save it. That's fucking natural and normal. That is nothing out of the ordinary. He's at a flat no. Cool. He's like me. I can't be sold. I can sell the ocean to the fish, vice versa. He said no flat out. I respect that. Hey man, I'm gonna shoot you a refund, 3, 2, 1. Hey, I went ahead and shot you that refund. go ahead and watch out for it. Usually takes about a day because he paid with PayPal. 6 days later after the transaction, it's 7 a.m. I wake up every day at 7 a.m., 6:50. I get a notification on my Facebook where this guy, I've been tagged in this forum, this group on Facebook. It's the EcoBoost Mustang forum that has 48,000 members. And the first fucking thing is function factory, sleazeball, blah, blah, blah. This guy's misleading, out of stock. And then on the bottom of it, it goes, the refund was canceled due to insufficient funds. No more than a minute later, he files a fucking chargeback. I'm pissed. It is 7 fucking a.m. and I'm sitting in my fucking shower reading this on my goddamn iPhone. That is not the fucking thing I want to wake up to. That is not what I want to wake up to. Because I got another 2 hours. I'm going to work in the shower. Guys, I do this all the time. I'll be fucking emailing customers in the shower. And usually happy emails, you know, and then I get here around, 9:20, 9:30, grab some breakfast. I bring Lester breakfast. We have our daily powwow, what's going on. But 7 a.m., I get hate mail and I get a chargeback. Fuck, you kicked me in the balls twice and you flipped me upside down and gave me a wedgie. Sweet. But when I wake up at 7 a.m. to charge back and some hate mail, especially from a guy that's my fan, oh, I'm heated. And did I say the wrong things? In hindsight, sure, maybe I could have worded a little better to save myself some PR. Ultimately, why am I pissed? It's been only 6 days. We've been talking back and forth. We've talked on the phone, and he files a chargeback because of insufficient funds. Let me tell you something about how PayPal refunds work. So PayPal has your holdings, right? So PayPal is a payment processor, which is basically it exchanges. It's a big exchange. You can move money in it and out of it. Any business owner, any small business owner does not keep a PayPal balance. And why? Because PayPal can lock your funds whenever the fuck they feel like it. And I mean that in the most guerrilla fuck way. They can do it whenever they want. They can lock your funds whenever they feel like it. If you have enough transactions coming through, if you have too much money, if you have too many chargebacks, they will lock your account. Ask me how I know. I have had $20,000, $30,000 frozen in my PayPal accounts that they didn't let me access for over a year. And it took me a week of phone calls to rectify that situation. I never want to go through that experience again. It sucks. We do our best to protect our PayPal account. It took almost a year and a half to get our PayPal back. And now it's perfect. Our transaction limit is massive. Our monthly volume is massive. It used to be over $1 million. It's nowhere there now, but it's still really big. So I do take it very personal because I've worked tremendously hard. And I do take pride when it comes to finance. And they can take it away from you like this. They can pull your card at any moment. It doesn't matter if it's $1. It doesn't matter if it's $100,000. It's the fact that you got the chargeback. So anyways, the guy's talking crap about me. I'm not saying the best things on the internet. At the same token, I'm trying to contact the customer. We didn't talk about the PayPal refund policy. When you refund someone through PayPal, they use your PayPal balance. Additionally, if the PayPal balance isn't available, they will cover it with your bank account. Fuck you, that is not true. And for some reason told the customer we had insufficient funds, which is a double stab in the back by PayPal, so double fuck you. When we have the cash, obviously, when you're supposed to debit it from our account. The bigger problem here is the customer took the liberty to think that we weren't going to refund him, talk shit about us, and then file the chargeback. Well, he didn't answer his phone. We called about 20 times and sent 3 to 4 emails, how we could rectify this. And he basically told me to go fuck myself and go deal with PayPal. Love that. So instead of getting his refund within an hour, he had to wait 2 weeks before we got the refund because we had to settle it out in PayPal disputes. Unfortunately, it was a daily thing. Now it's becoming a weekly thing, and it's becoming now a bi-weekly thing and a monthly thing, which is a good thing because it's happening less and less and less because our follow-up, my follow-up, is as much as I can possibly do. I'm in the shower, I'm eating while I'm responding to you, I'm wrenching on cars, with Lester responding to you. I am talking with a customer that is walking up the hill and still responding to you, trying to give him attention, trying to give you guys attention. I'm taking phone calls. You know, we're going as fast as we can, right? Well, you should probably hire more people. We'll talk about that too, about how much money is actually being made here, because it's not a lot when you really put it on paper. It takes a tremendous amount of volume of car parts to make $1 and to cover payroll costs, acquisition costs, and we can do that on another episode. Money can destroy relationships so fucking fast, where all reasonability and all accountability and all of anything, the ability just to be a normal human being and just give me a call and say, all he had to do was call me at 9 a.m. or email me and go, hey, Charles, you know, your refund got canceled due to insufficient funds. Hey, man, I'm not feeling too comfortable about this. Can we settle this right now? I'm not feeling too great. Hey, man, holy moly, thank you for bringing that to my attention. You are right. There is no money in the PayPal account. I didn't know that PayPal was trying to debit the current PayPal account as they should have debited the bank account. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and PayPal you directly your money back, and we'll cancel out the order, and it'll be that. Let's go back through this. We refunded the customer on that phone call, and it took him 6 days. You know, they canceled it in 6 days, and within mere minutes, he had filed that chargeback and then talked crap. There's a certain curtain, I say, that you get to this level in e-commerce or a physical shop or whatever you want to call this thing, and the problems start to stack like crazy. And the customer service becomes unmanageable. But what we've done, we've trimmed a lot of fat within our inventory and made sure we work with vendors that can fulfill. So let's talk about some daily things, because I totally just ranted about the main subject here. What else? I got some RC car parts. I don't know if you guys know, I'm a huge nerd when it comes to RC cars. I love my Traxxas Revo 3.3. I've got 2 of them. I do want to buy an MT2 nitro truck, an HPI. Yes, that thing is from 2004, 2005. I like to relive my childhood memories, unfortunately. So just bought a new carburetor, got a new clutch, got a new spur gear, upgraded, lowered the teeth count. Everything's all metal because I did put some massive, I think they're 1/8 scale tires on this thing, and it's really cool. What else landed on my desk? Obviously, we got that Sim Magic thing that needs to get going. We got Extreme Sim Racing 4.0 chassis. We're gonna be building it right here. I just bought some, but we found these platforms where we can assemble the sim and have working space underneath of it. Sawhorses, yeah, I think that's what it's called. So bought those the other day. I spent a tremendous amount of time researching barbecues because I left my barbecue in Scottsdale when I moved here. I kind of regret that. I didn't know how expensive Weber grills are. Did you guys know that? Holy shit. A Weber grill Performer is $579 and it was $620 on checkout. But the argument is that it's, you know, it lasts forever, which it does. And then I want to buy a Blackstone combo grill with the griddle and the burner. Sure, we eat great around here, but I love cooking. It's a great outlet for me to get this excitement and you know, somewhat of anger out. Well, you know, I can see just make some noises, get some flames going, get some steam going. But I think we're gonna start really cheap. Maybe we'll buy the Blackstone and we'll skip the barbecue. I'm sure if you guys have been watching me, you know, coming over to the old shop, I used to cook every single day. And then when we had the barbecues, you know, I'd be cooking the burgers and such. I miss that, I really do. It's a great outlet, you know, midday, just kind of blow off some steam and just cook and be in the heat and such forth. Insurance. We are starting an insurance program. So that's probably gonna be finalized in 2 or 3 weeks. It's gonna be just for McLarens. It could range to Mustangs also, we'll see. But we are going to be offering a nationwide coverage plan for pre-owned McLarens. Yes, there's a lot of paperwork between this, so this is a very, very soft introduction to this. I've got to read a lot of documentations on this, but we're going to be able to offer warranty work. We'll be able to pay shops with a warranty check, et cetera, et cetera. But again, there's a lot of red tape on this. I have a lot to read. But other than that, we are going to be able to initiate 2 different type of warranty programs between McLaren and paint protection film and ceramic coatings. So stay tuned for that. We have more Darwin Pro products going up from McLaren and Corvette. That is a lot of carbon fiber. We just did one on Clinton's C7, which I'm going to be going out to be driving. Really excited about that. Just renewed our Podium Club membership. Need to get shirts. Need to get shirts made. So I really need, the shirt situation is very dire. Need to get new shirts, especially for Leicester. We've got Evan coming on board as nearly full time, if he's not now. So Evan is now editing and doing our Instagram posting and sending marketing emails. Woohoo, we're becoming a real company. We just hired another sales guy. So another sales guy, thanks to Jeff Vaness, reached out to me. So I really appreciate this new guy. Stick it in there. We had a great interview, and he's going to be starting in about 2 weeks' time. I did go out and deliver our ESR AX160 to Chris, a gentleman that works on the Sorensen team on Formula Drift. We became good friends, him and Mike. Me and Mike, you know, he also bought a sim from us, which one of them is in there as well. So delivered that personally to him, and as his thank you, he did take me go-karting in a 125 shifter and Italic horse. Holy shit. Mr. Champ over here.
Learning it wise, don't necessarily talk about where you upshift. I remember everything as how many...
Holy shit. And we went to Spring Mtn. So not just your average go-kart track, and the best of the best go-kart at one of the best, you know, resort style race tracks, you know, country club style, good old boys, gentlemen racing type place. And we did finish that vlog. I wish, again, I was so tremendously tired from that venture. I forgot to get helmet cam footage. That thing is so fucking fast. It's the most terrifying thing on 4 wheels with the motor in it. Holy shit. If you guys have not shifter karted, I highly, if you're into cars like this, go shifter karting, go rent one, go to Musselman, you know, shout out Charlie. He's got shifter carts that you can rent. You do have to prove yourself to drive it first before you can get into the shifter cart, because again, it is absolutely terrifying. You can break it, you can break yourself, be careful. It is a shit ton of fun. This is the most adrenaline you'll ever have. I'm not back, but I am Branden Sorensen's spotter for 2025, so I'll see you guys out in Long Beach. We have been working on, you know, it took us a year to basically get our communication down. You know, Branden is an interesting individual. I love you, bro. You know I'm your biggest fucking fan. I am your sister's biggest fan, and I am Cameron's biggest fan. I am the entire family's pom-pom cheerleader till I die. I love their dogs. I love their photographer. I love everything about Sorensen. So huge thank you to them. Me and Branden have, you know, we've evolved in our friendship, in our communication, in our relationship, and I truly think this year is gonna be our year. You know, I've been watching how much work Randy's put into the cars himself, Branden, Cameron, Amanda. They've been putting crazy amount of work in these new cars. They're not new, they're massively refreshed, but this could be our year. He got that podium out of Orlando. Branden had that podium in Orlando, and I really wish we could have carried that momentum in, but I think he's gonna lock in this year, guys. You know, he's been doing this for a hot minute now, and his time is coming. He has that skill. We went to Roscogen together. We went to Norway. And I saw the fire in that kid. Holy fuck. He can drive. He can drive. And a lot of FD guys can drive. You know, they kind of waffle it in their competition runs, but when they do exhibition and just drive for fun, I saw an animal, another animal inside Branden I had never seen in my life. That was some of the most raddest driving I'd ever seen. He drove a car he's never driven a track he never drove, and we were doing backwards entries like no other. So. hope podium life. You got it, Branden. You got it, Amanda. You got it, Cameron. So we're in March now. Something current. We're going to RAFA Racing's grand opening. Shout out to them. Got to help Paige way back in her days when she was just up and coming. She was driving an older GT4 Porsche. Helped her for 2 days, and she did, her improvement within those 2 days was tremendous. It's really cool. I really appreciate the opportunity by her father and RAFA himself. And the hospitality, himself, Jim, Chanel, that they offered me, Another, just open arms family. They took me to Spa. We went to Belgium together. Just these insane experiences. Again, I wish I would have filmed this stuff. I covered a lot of it in my stories, on Instagram, but This is the spectacle of the show. We have a private dinner here with McLaren Customer Racing. Doing a great job. We got SRO Press over there. But I should have made a vlog about it. Once in a lifetime opportunities. I've been to Spa twice now. Should talk more about this stuff. I want to remember it too. I don't have the greatest memory or the ability to remember timelines. So I think if I record this stuff, I can start remembering these things and look back at it from years to come. After that, I'm out at Edge Addicts, instructing. Been doing that for about a year and going on 2 years almost with Edge. It's just a good time. It's a great release. Again, going 160, 170 down the backstreet of Circuit of the Americas, helping people. There's nothing more that I love than watching people progress in racing. I didn't get that chance. I had to learn myself. I learned on the streets. I really did. I street drifted for years. And then we went to the track and learned there, and then I got opportunities by asking people to drive their cars. I'm not sponsored, I'm not this and that, I put up my own cash, I put my money where my mouth is, and I go drive some cars. Edge Addicts gives a nice outlet to go help people that are trying to experiment. They're trying to see if they love track days, or they do love track days and they're trying to get better, or who knows, maybe they're going to WRL, or maybe they race SRO. Everybody needs coaching, I need coaching. I would like to look at data, I would like to look at that stuff, but more than anything, I really need a person to pep talk me. I needed someone at Sonoma to say, hey, calm the fuck down. Do you realize that who you just went against? And put your head down and go win this fucking match, or go force them one more time, or whatever. I need that, because I get in my own head, and more than anything, I really need someone to just say, calm down, you got this. I want to be able to help people that are novices from blue group, which is the lowest, all the way to red group. If you're looking for that 10th, I'm your man. If you're looking to just quite literally get around the track, I'm also your man. I'm more than happy to help these people. It's a great time, and I really appreciate Trevor and his family out there for letting me do that. I think that's it, what's going on currently. I do want to work on the cars that we have around here, my personal cars. My EcoBoost Mustang, it's delayed another 2 weeks, unfortunately. I don't know. I got no comment on that one. I'm not the happiest camper on it. The Mustang next to us right here, the twin turbo car, needs 2 fittings, that's it. I'm not too worried that we don't have, work coming in. I haven't advertised for it, but if you want to bring your car in, you're more than welcome to. We'll do an install job. I got 2 big installs I'm working on right now. A guy in Vegas needing a EcoBoost long block, and a guy over in Louisiana wanting to build Whipple GT, Mustang GT. But other than that, I think this is it. The reason why I wanted to do this again is because we had that chargeback that didn't make me too happy. It really didn't. At the end of the day, I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you. You're more than welcome to come to the shop. You can meet me. You can have a phone call with me. My line is open. Come meet me in person. You think I'm this bad guy. I'm here. I'm a real person. I'm a real vendor also. I'm not hiding behind some private equity firm, unfortunately. I'm a real dude. Okay, I guess we got to shift gears to the other part of the video. Let's talk about the beginnings of Function Factory Performance, and even myself. I'm owner and founder and operator of Function Factory Performance out here in Thousand Oaks, California. I was born in San Antonio, Texas, where I lived for only about 6 years. My father was an aircraft mechanic. My mother, we'll get to that in another time. My dad worked for the royal family of Saudi Arabia. He left to be with my mother and to have me out in Texas. he had a pretty awesome life and a wild one as well. He is a military veteran, served 8 years in the Air Force, and did some of the wildest things. I wish I could have learned more about them, but I have bounced around almost 21 different states in my lifetime, spending most of my teenage years in Idaho and then moving to Arizona when I was 18. So in the lieu of that, I became obsessed. I was in a class, newspaper class and marketing class with Miss Swickard and Miss Holcomb. Miss Swickard enabled a lot of things in my life which I didn't know was possible, and unfortunately she did pass away, and she's an incredible woman. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been able to get into photography, and if it wasn't for Miss Holcomb, I wouldn't have been able to get into marketing and a lot of the things that I know. Basically, I built the newspaper for the school. I did shirts for the school. I did a lot of marketing materials. I built the posters. I built the signs. I even worked the popcorn stand. I was so happy to work at the football games and basketball games, serving, chili, popcorn to everyone. It was great. It was a great way to just, spend some time away from the house. My big thing was, I was looking at this newspaper. We got all this cool formatting. It looks like a real newspaper. What is it missing? It's missing photos. So I called my dad. I remember he had this $100 Nikon camera. It was a film N60, I think. And I said, hey, Dad, ship me that camera. I know it's collecting dust. So he shipped it to me. And next thing you know, I think in the time frame that, before I realized that digital cameras were a thing, we probably went through over 100 rolls of film. And it was just getting ridiculous. And I couldn't believe that probably 80% of them came out exposed really well. And I shot black and white, I shot color, I shot different ISOs, different grains, different, if you shoot different film, it has different tones to it, and experimented a lot with it. I got a D60 Nikon, moved into that, sold that, got a D200, sold that, and then walked into a D700 when I was roughly 18 or 19. I remember my first paid job, a newspaper had hired me to shoot a softball game, and it was a picture of this girl named Melissa that was throwing a pitch, and I got paid $80 for one photo. Guys, I thought I was a fucking billionaire. I thought I was about to go to the Bugatti shop and buy a Veyron that next day. 80 bucks for one photo. I thought I was on top of the world. It was the craziest feeling at the age of 17 getting paid that much money for, I went to a softball game. And the funniest thing about that softball game, I'll never forget, someone had a girl had hit the softball, she balled. I caught the ball. And I'm sitting here with a 7200, and I went to toss it back into the dugout, and I tossed it so hard, it went on top of the dugout. And I'll never forget, someone said, hey, you should probably stick to shooting photos. Oh my gosh. Imagine being a 17-year-old kid. I was so embarrassed. That was, when I think back to that, that was a hilarious moment. But yeah, that was my first paid gig as a photographer. And then I ended up shooting our senior photos, and I moved out to Arizona from Idaho, and I was in Payette, Idaho. If you guys don't know where that's at, it's about 50 miles out of Boise. I was in Boise for some time, and there's just so much more to divulge about that. But let's accelerate ourselves how we got to where we are in FFP. I stayed in cars. I went to UTI, if you guys didn't know that. I did go to Universal Technical Institute out in Avondale. I spent 8 months there. Met some incredible friends that I still know to this day. And every one of them helped me in some way or form, and I hope I helped them. But I had met this guy named Keith. I'll never forget. I was walking into class. I see this blue Mugen Civic. If you guys don't know what a Mugen Civic is, you should look it up. It was just sitting outside of class, and I'm thinking to myself, what fucking asshole drives a Mugen Civic? This thing is $37,000 in 2009. And one day I see Keith, this guy, get in it, and I'm like, oh shit, I was talking to that guy earlier. And, we ended up having a massive friend group in UTI. And, man, we went street drifting, I'll tell you that. If it wasn't for UTI, you know, I met a bunch of guys that love 240s and drifting, and, you know, that was a great outlet for me. I learned everything from them, you know, in those experiences, and I thank them so much for letting me drive their cars. Kyle, Justin, Eric, Keith, you know, we had Christina, we had such a great time. You know, we'd go in the back lots, you know, we'd be street drifting back of Home Depots, and we found one lot on Buckeye. 75th and Buckeye was the place, if you guys know where that is. And we'd street drift all the way from like 11 p.m. till 5 a.m. just burning through tires. Keith had moved away after he graduated, and I had dropped out because I became a wedding photographer with a guy named Michael Mays. And I had basically approached Keith like, hey Keith, I want to start a shop, I want to start a website, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what do you need? I'm like, do you have $1,000? And he was like, sure. He sent me $1,000. I built a website. You know, next thing led to one thing, and we had MURICA Motorsports back in 2013, 14, 15, I want to say. That was a roller coaster in itself, I'll tell you that. I learned a lot, and I still have the relationships from MURICA that I have now within the vendor space. If it wasn't for that experience with Keith, man, we would not be here today. So if you guys know me from MURICA, man, that was a fun fucking time. That was an awesome shop. We did some incredible things back then, and I really, really, really missed that experience. It came to an end within a short 365 days. I ended up moving to Vegas, worked for Dream Racing, moved back to Arizona, and got picked up by a private equity company called Caliber by an incredible man named Donnie Schrader. He gave me, you know, anything and everything I wanted when it came to digital media, and he let me flourish and became the man I am today. So I really appreciate that. It was an awesome opportunity to work at Caliber, and I took it for granted, honestly. I really wish I would have learned a little more about the private equity sector, but I think in that time frame, my mental capacity was absolutely maxed. You know, coming from absolutely nothing to, you know, I did live in my car for about 4 years before that. You know, I came from nothing to giving a lot. You know, he gave me the opportunity of a lifetime, and I did as much as I could in that current time frame to capitalize on it, and I could have done a lot more. I really could have. But I took that knowledge, and then I started The Function Factory. So The Function Factory was a digital media company that ended up servicing GMG Racing, Porsche North America Motorsports, SRO, light side of INZA, you know, a couple of INZA events, and we did some live TV, did some stuff with AWS even, you know, Bondurant, you know, the client list is endless, and the things that we did and the team that we built. It was tough. It was tough again. You know, there was no money in it. There really wasn't, and that's why I left. That's why I left photography ultimately. I was a terrible person at doing this right here. You know, I couldn't monetize what we were doing, unfortunately. And the income from the clients wasn't enough because we had built a team. The jobs were demanding. They required multiple amount of people, and you know, you make all this money and then you look at your net profit and you go, oh shit, like 70% of it went to the editor, the team, you know, the travel, the hotels, you know, and you're left with nothing. And a lot of guys didn't understand that, unfortunately. There are a couple people that do feel burned about that, but they didn't realize that there's no money in that. You get this big bill and you see like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make 10, 15 grand, and the fucking job costs you 8. And you go, oh shit, but you don't realize that because you don't have the business knowledge to do that. And I just got sick of it. As the budgets got lower and lower and the expectations got higher and higher, I didn't, as a business person, kind of adapt to that. I should have went to look for new clients. I should have done better at billing. I could have done more to offer more services at a lower price. And also, I wasn't able to sell the fact of, how do we ROI all of this expense? That was another big thing with TFF. We weren't able to ROI a lot of stuff for clients. And a lot of the video production that we did was a lot of ego. You know, it was just saying that we have it. Like this is what we do. And sure, you know, some companies made a tremendous amount of money with some of the videos that we did, and some just didn't. Some just wanted to have it for personal preference or personal gain, and that's cool for them. But unfortunately, I failed in that business aspect of managing a multimedia company, so I jumped ship, and I went back to selling car parts, and that's how FFP was formed. So in, you know, doing TFF and kind of withering away with it back in late 18, I'd started building a website. I went and looked for funding. I went and looked for people to build the website with me, and I spent probably a full year trying to find someone to help me with this fucking thing, and no one wanted to do it. And if they did, it was going to cost 50 grand. And now in hindsight, I see why. It was fully justifiable. The amount of money and time that I have spent in this website is beyond 10,000 hours, and I still don't understand a lot of it, unfortunately. I'm not a coder. I'm not a designer. I'm not anybody. I'm just a normal fucking dude just trying to make it. That is the real fucking truth. It really is. So I ended up building the website in late 2018, and then it went live, I believe, a few months later in early 19. It was doing like, I don't know, $1,000 a month. And again, that's gross, guys. I've got to buy the product, so I'm walking away with $100, and I'm spending $5 in ads, quite literally. I don't know shit about ads. Why didn't I learn Google Ads when I was younger? Should have done that, right? Should have learned crypto, should have learned ads, should have learned ROI, should have learned all of that stuff. Again, I didn't have that foundation. It was very unfortunate, but I'm happy to share that with a lot of people. I feel bad for people that don't have that foundation, that do want to learn it. And I really, 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 really fucking wish I did. Yeah, I really wish I would have learned all that stuff. I start FFP in early 19, and it's doing okay. And then where the ramp was late 19, where we start seeing like 35 grand. Whoa, where did this come from? And next thing you know, whoa, how did this happen? 100, 200, it just started ballooning like crazy. And a lot of people ask, how did I start FFP? Well, I went looking for money, I didn't get it. I was looking for developers, I didn't get them. So I had $3,000 in a credit card, and I YOLO'd every single dollar into Google Ads and hiring people to build their Google Ads, and then any other cost incurred on it, and it returned within like a month or two. Again, it was lucky. Little did I know COVID was right around the corner, because in March 2020, that's when I decided to fully step away from photography and video. But the number one story I tell is I was at COTA, March 2020, and I had gotten in a very, very verbal argument with a gentleman that worked for SRO. And it's because me and Devin had parked, Devin was my photographer helper at the time. Me and her had parked a golf cart about a few inches into the fire lane against turn 1. There's a gentleman that's running, who the hell's cart is this? Who the hell, blah, blah, blah. He is going off. This guy's very tall and very big. He's going, who the fuck is that? And I'm the first to take accountability always. I said, hey, that's my cart. I'll go ahead and move it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I move the cart, I get out, and he's in my face, and he's going, people like you are the reason why us photographers have bad names, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whoa, this is happening. Live TV is above us, to mind you. This guy's in my face at Mach 10. He's going off, blah, blah, blah. I am actually not, for once in my life, not talking back to him. He's like, who do you work for? Who's your contact? Da, da, da. I'm like, oh, I work for James. And he's like, oh, I've been knowing James a whole decade. I'm calling James. I'm calling Joe. I'm going to call Race Direct. I'm going to call Race Director, blah, blah. And I get called up into race control. All right, who'd you piss off? Blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, unfortunately, that guy does that. That's not cool with me. And I know my way around cars on a racetrack here. And I'm just sitting here listening to this guy. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't fucking do this. I'm so tired of being behind the camera. I'm so tired of being behind the camera. I'm so tired of photographing and videotaping the shit I wanted to fucking do since I was a kid. And I made a change. And that's why we have this shop. Because I wanted to do it myself, and I was tired of just seeing it happen around me. So I quit. I really did. And I went full-time into e-commerce and product development and shipping products. You guys should have seen my apartment. A lot of people can attest to it. We had car parts. I knew it was crazy when I had a carbon fiber hood in my room, in my bed, and I couldn't sleep because the other room was filled with Anderson Composites carbon. I had my entire garage filled with taillights and GT500 wings. It was crazy. There were parts everywhere. And we decided to get a shop in June or July of 2020, and the rest was history. And we can go in another episode about what had happened, why we're here in Thousand Oaks, and what happened in the Scottsdale location. Because there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. Business is business. It is. And I had to change tremendously as a person to even get to this spot here. Because if you guys don't know, this is the most expensive place in the United States. I think the only more expensive place might be the Hamptons in New York. The rent here is on another level. You can't even fathom. The payroll tax, everything, the eggs, everything is expensive in Thousand Oaks, Westlake Village. This is the bougie of bougie, but hey, I got 3 McLarens in my shop and I got more coming. So this is where the money is, and it's beautiful. It's very beautiful here. It is very beautiful, but a lot of things happened before that. And a lot of it's unfortunate, but again, they are learning tools. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Fuck, I am the worst when it comes to it. I am the absolute worst, but what I do as I get older and more mature, I learn from the mistakes. And fortunately enough, a lot of them haven't been recreated. I'll leave it at that, and we'll make that for another video. But wanted to get you guys up to speed how FFP even came about. Honestly, we're living a dream. We got a nice, cool man cave here. We got some cool websites. We have some insane cars. You guys are gonna want to stay with me on the cars. And again, I've met some incredible people through all of this. And unfortunately, they come in and out of your life. They do. It sucks. You know, I do miss my friends in Arizona. I do miss a lot of people there. I really do. But I needed to do what was best for me and what was best for the company. And that's why I'm out here. And I'm more than happy to come back. I'm more than happy to come back and visit. I want to, but till I can build the staff here and get a solid, foot place and, get that net profit where it's at a reasonable amount with payroll, I'm gonna be doing this for a long time. So I think the next topic is gonna be, kind of the refinement of FFP in 2020. Let's talk about 2020 and what went wrong and what went right. Because a lot of things went wrong and a lot of things went right. And unfortunately, that's just the nature of business. And again, it was only my first year of doing that. It was tough. It really, really, really was. Now, it's a lot different. Things are a lot different now. So I think we're going to wrap it up there. Tell me if you made it all the way through this. I'll send you a sticker. All right? We'll do that. I'll send you a sticker. I got a couple left. So I'm out. See you tomorrow.